You insist to be my friend, though I'm so busy. And whenever I need your help, I count to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see your face. You're the only fox in town who knows how to laugh and love. And I think that you're so special. It's not obvious, it's your own. So if you think that I forgot it's your birthday, fix your mind. No, I can bring you the moon, but I can sing a song of love. And if you ever feel lonely, don't worry, I'll be on your side. 'Cause you're my best friend forever. I wish you all my best regards. That's a beautiful embrace. That's how I see you every day. You do magic with your hands, or you can build an aeroplane. You're the only boy in town who has love for everyone, even to the passion fruit trees around the corner of your house. So if you think that I forgot it's your birthday, let me fix your mind. Now I can bring you the moon, but I can sing a song of love. And if you'll ever feel lonely, don't worry, I'll be on your side. 'Cause you're my best friend forever. Wish you all my best regards.
Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay. From the moment that we met, you were worth the wait. Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know. Talk for hours and never stop. Two silhouettes on the concrete steps. We watch the sun as it slowly sets from the horizon to the place. Oh, this could be the best thing that I've ever done.
I can see birds flying. I see children smiling. When I think about all of the things that you and me could be, I want to be with you both day and night, to sit on the grass beneath the moonlight. Know that life won't last forever, but at least we can grow old together. I can see the sunrise reflecting in your eyes. When I think about all of the things that you and me could be, I want to be with you both day